I have been watching other people keep their pulses on this. Big shout out to like that umbrella guy and Ricada Law. But as I've said publicly, this isn't something that to be honest, care so much about. I do think that some of the ramifications of it are largely overstated, but I don't think that's because of their intentions of the people that believe this to be an example of such are bad. I think they genuinely believe that, even if I think that is naive. So it is worth talking about that part. So some of you guys understand with this whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. Johnny Depp came out on top of that. There was one instance that I think that he was found, or the counter suing worked, but it's not near that. I think it was like $2 million or something they said Johnny owed her, but she owes him on the upward of like, what is it, 15 or some shit like that. So she lost. And a lot of folks looked at it like, well, and I get it. Well, they look at it like, well, this means that, or this sends a message to the movement, right, of folks that have gotten away with falsely accusing people of very egregious things, right? And when it comes to both men and women, you had the movement of the believe all women and all that. You have folks that are taking some very odd angles on that are still clinging on to that. Sarkeesian the other day, or was it yesterday, where she's like, well, this is, if a rich white woman can't win this, then, we're in trouble, basically. And the angle that some of the people within the media are taking, that they look at this as a loss, because to them, no matter what the evidence showed, the fact that there was a woman that said and made claims about somebody is good enough, right? And it should have been believed, and they should see no ramifications. That's a dangerous thing to think, but this is what they believe at the end of the day, and they are using victims to attempt to, people that actually have suffered from, be it various versions of domestic abuse and violence and sexual abuse or whatever. They're using them to try to basically present a world where there's no consequence. It's not even about them winning. It's that there's basically no consequence for them doing that. Now, again, I don't think that this is as big as some people think. I would love to be wrong on this, but I don't think it's as big as some people think, because more specifically, I think it works the opposite way. Some folks look at it like, well, it's because it was so high profile of a case, it'll send a message. I think that it's not even that. I think that, well, because it's so high profile of a case, and because it's really the only reason that Johnny Depp was able to fight this shit, by spending millions upon millions of dollars to put himself in a position to make it happen. The average man, or woman for that matter, that is falsely accused does not have those resources. So they look at it it's kind of crazy how, depending on where you're at on this issue, you like to think of yourself as the victim, or people that are generally on your side as the victim, right? So, of course, like I've mentioned before, the folks that are like, well, you got to believe all women, and this is a blow to those types of folks. They look at it like, well, they're the victims. And I'm not going to sit there and act like there aren't people that have gotten off for maybe abusing some woman or something like that. But to act as if there are no men particularly that have not been falsely accused and had their lives ruined for some shit just because a woman wanted to say this. And really, I believe that the court system, again, depending on who you ask, they'll say that the court system's against them as victims. And you can make the argument that, when you talk about victims, what do you become if you are falsely accused? A victim. Perfect world, you look at a situation like this, and man, people would learn from it. Stop being a piece of shit and literally shitting in people's beds. Don't be doing that. You shouldn't do that. But also, when you're down and out, or you're going through whatever you're going psychologically, for you to just get out there and make claims about folks that are career destroying, life destroying for that matter, and you think you're supposed to be believed or you're supposed to see absolutely no consequence to it, is a fundamental problem here. Like, why do people feel, women in particularly, though not exclusively, feel incentivized to do that? Well, some of the claims may be damning either way, even if it doesn't make it to court. Some of these people there are people that have been falsely accused of stuff. It doesn't really go to court, but they've had their careers ruined for this stuff because of the cultural aspect of it, right? Yeah, it's crazy to think that way. And even now, I don't know what's going to happen out of this whole Amber Heard situation, because you think that after something like that, her career should be fucking done. It should be done. Only time is going to tell. I don't even know if she has the fucking money. She's probably going to file for bankruptcy, huh? Because does she even have, like, it's almost $10 million on net that she has to give up? Do we think she got that? You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what happens out of that. But if the stars align, if she's falsely accusing someone, then yeah, like, you can't be going around doing shit like that. What's the consequences to you? Because oftentimes we've seen people that have, again, even in the entertainment space, that have been falsely accused of things, and they're done. There's no coming back from that. People don't want to work with you and all that sort of stuff. And I hate to see shit like that, right? And people look at it, rationally speaking, and they should. Well, what does this do for actual victims of certain crimes when you have people that are out there falsely accusing people? Does it turn into a boy who cried wolf type situation? I wouldn't want that. Nobody would want that. But I think only time's going to fucking tell where Miss Shit in the bed is actually going to see a consequence for that, and not just financially. Because you have to understand, still to this day, there are folks that have done some grimy stuff, and they've seen so many. They've not seen, if there was a consequence, it was maybe only temporary. And then there's folks that have done nothing wrong and have lost their livelihoods, really. Let's call it what it is, like livelihoods. You know what I mean? And even to this, like, I'm all for redemption, right? I'm all for, everybody loves a little redemption arc. But that only makes sense if you actually atone for what it is that you like what it is that you did, right? You actually did something that was fucked up, not like a false accusation. I'm saying like, or well, you offended me. No, you actually did something that was fucked up, right? And then you atone for it, you answer for it, and then you learn from it. Amber Heard ain't learned a goddamn thing. Y'all see that post? That post she shared? Right after this shit, she ain't learned shit. She has still presented herself as if she is the victim here. She ain't learned nothing. Time's gonna tell. I wonder, we know with Aquaman 2, they said that her role has been reduced or something. But if it ain't been reduced to basically zero, not even basically, like effectively, it has to be, we're done here type of situation, because they'll do it with anybody else. Hell, in some cases they did it with Johnny. He got ostracized from Hollywood for that. We'll see what happens. But I say hold off on the victory laps, because time has to tell a lot. It was a public, high-profile case, and I guess in this case, thankfully it was, but I will say this, and this is a message to my fellas out there. Stop putting your penis in crazy. I don't care how attractive you think that she is. Y'all have to get control of that shit, man. Y'all have to get control of that. because one mistake, and I'm not, and it's sad that it has to be this way in the sense that you have to be always conscious of that. If you learn nothing else from this video, hell, if you learn nothing else from this case, stop sticking your dick in crazy. Get control of that shit, because these heifers out here, a lot of them are crazy as all get out. And a lot of y'all will, oh, well, she's attractive, and you just want to get off. And so you do stuff, and then your life get ruined. Stop it. Stop it. And here's another thing, if nothing else. Stop glamorizing these fucking celebrities and their relationships. That has been one of the things. I think a lot of that started with my generation, right? I don't think even not to say that generations before didn't think that all these relationship shits were goals and stuff, but my generation, the people that came up with me, I think a lot of that goals shit started with like my generation of folks, where folks just looked up to popular celebrities in dysfunctional fucking relationships. So what the hell is wrong with y'all? You can almost guarantee that a lot of folks within Hollywood are in the most dysfunctional fucking relationships that you could possibly dream of. A lot of your parents are informal. Those should be your goals. Hell, you got a loving, like, a mom and dad. That should be your goals. Not these fucking crazy ass fucking celebrities who fucking each other ironically, and they all in fucking hot potato with each other because they all crazy as hell and dysfunctional. But hey, they looked good at whatever, or they make a cute Instagram post and they goes to y'all. They the most dysfunctional people that you can dream of. They don't know what the hell they doing in these relationships. They have no idea what they're doing. Stop worshiping these guys just because you see them take some fucking photos at the red carpet premiere or some shit. Or they make some video or something that they posted on Instagram and you like goals. Meanwhile, they beating each other the fuck up, shitting in the bed, all kinds of stuff. Away from it. Stop glamorizing these fucking celebrities, and they are almost guaranteed to be in dysfunctional relationships. They've been in multiple fucking marriages, and the ones that been in these long-standing marriages, you like, what the fuck is going on? There's a lot of dysfunction going on. We saw that. One of them happened to be a man that slapped a dude. That man's in a dysfunctional relationship. What are y'all doing, man? But seriously, only time's gonna tell. Would I love for this to send a message to the entire country, for that matter, and women to look at this situation and say, okay, we can't be falsely accusing people and attempting to ruin their lives because they feel like it. I would love for that to be the case. I'm sorry though. Let me say this. This isn't a black pill, but only time's gonna tell. You also you can't ignore the situation here and the setup here. And that is that we were dealing with very rich people, and the guy that had the money to be able to kind of fight some shit off like this. Because we've seen it happen on a lower scale, and people just lose their fucking careers, and the woman walks off like fucking nothing happened.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.